So what we're going to do now is we're going to make a block, but this block is going to have what's known as an attribute. So if we take a look over here, we've got these callouts where you've got 1B and 1A. So where you make a block with an attribute is that you want to make one block and then you can change that piece of text or that variable within that block. So the first step is you have to make the actual attribute. So we're going to replace this piece of text, or this simple note as it's called in the Connect CAD viewer, with what's known as an attribute. So I'm going to go in and say make block attribute instead of make block. And the name is going to be, curb. We'll just call it, curb callout or CC. Uh, actually, let's just name the whole thing. We'll go curb call out. The caption is kind of what is like a placeholder, so we'll just call it CC. And then for a default value, we'll do 1A as the default value. Now we're going to come down here and we're going to change the height. So the height's going to be 2.5. We're going to rotate it at 0 because we want to kind of put it in here. And then we're going to pick the insertion point. So we uncheck this. We'll pick the insertion point where we want it to kind of be, which is right here. Actually, let's specify later. Let's click on that. We want to keep it locked in the block, and I think everything else is set the way we want. So you really just got to set the height, the text style that you want. So if you want it to be this particular text style with a height, and then you hit the checkbox, and you can see how it says curve callout. So we're going to place that like right here. Even though it extends out over there, it's not going to show up when we actually make the block. So we want to get rid of this. So we're just going to, delete that. And then you're going to go and you're going to make the block this time. So you're going to go now make block. And we'll call this curb call out. The units is fine. The base point is basically where you're going to insert. So that's going to be this right here. And then we're going to convert to a block. And now we want to select the entities. So we want to come down here, select the entities. We're going to pick all of those, including the attribute. And you can have multiple attributes as well. So then you're just going to press enter. And you can see now it shows up as the block. And then we click the checkbox. And you'll see now it shows this attribute, which is value 1A. Right? So that's the default. So we'll click on that. And now we've got that 1A attribute. Now, if you insert the block, right? So we type in ins block, and now we're going to insert that curve callout. So that's the default name. So when we click on it, now you'll see that it's going to ask us for our scale and angle and how many we want. And now it's asking us for that curve callout, right? So now this is 1B, and when we do that, now it's 1B. So we've got that curve callout. Now you can double left click on this. So we click on this one, you can see the values over here, what layer it's on. So you're really able to edit this block. So maybe this is going to be 1C, or maybe it's a CG instead of 1C, 1A or 1B. And then when we change that and click OK, it changes that property value. So when you're making the block and the text, you want to make sure you put it on the right layer, and you have the colors of everything that you want. But just want to kind of show you what this attribute tool does to make these blocks with attributes.